Hi everyone. I got a question from a few questions from some of our viewers, and thank you very much for those. One question was, how much money do you need to start an Airbnb in Japan? And the answer really is it depends. It depends on your situation. But basically, you need fireproof carpets, fireproof curtains, and fire extinguishers. You also need a very good alarm system. You need a professional alarm system, and it varies with your situation. So if your suite is on the second floor and it's difficult to get out, you need a better alarm system than if it's on the first floor and it's easy to get out. You need the signs vary, and the signs are quite expensive. So in a nutshell, I would say you're probably looking at 1 million yen when you pay for everything. When you fix up your place, you paint, maybe you get some new furniture. As I've said in other videos, we got some new toilets. If your place is 20, 30 years old, you're going to need some new things to get it up to spec for guests, because we are competing with hotels, so you want to do a good job there. Do you need to buy the place or can you rent? I would think you would need an amazingly understanding landlord to rent. I have heard of people who claim they've been able to do that. Actually, I do know of one person who has for sure, but it was maybe a 2-year stint, and then the owner got upset, and that was the end of it. So, when you think of it, most owners aren't going to want a lot of strangers coming into their place. There's increased risk of fire. There's increased risk of crime. Just it's not the greatest for the landlord, not the greatest for the owner. So not many landlords would want strangers staying. I recommend buying a freestanding house if you can, as you won't have to deal with a condominium council. So buy a freestanding house somewhere, and then that cuts down on noise and other potential problems as well. What about regulations in Japan? Japan is one of the toughest places in the world to start an Airbnb or any guest house now. It used to be very, very easy, but Japan has some of the toughest regulations in the world for opening a guest house. That's as a result of the hotel situation putting pressure on the government and saying, why do we have to have all this expensive soundproofing and emergency equipment when these guest houses don't, which is a good point. So now the standards have raised for guest houses, but I think for safety it's a good thing, and everyone's basically on the same page, so that's good. You need to have your space inspected by the fire department, and if they give the okay, then you have MLIT inspected. MLIT stands for the Ministry of Land and Infrastructure and something else that I can't remember, but it's really long. And they're very important. And if they say okay, then you can open, and you tell Airbnb your registration number, and they say, hey, great, you can start making money. Woo-hoo, great. And then you'll probably get a visit from the police, and they'll come by, and I had 3 undercover police come up. No police car, they just came up in suits and said, we are the police. And I went, oh my God, what happened? And they wanted to talk to me about how to identify bad people and how to identify terrorists and how to be careful and blah, blah, blah. And yep, the police are good, so make sure you listen to them and try to learn about it. Is it too late to start an Airbnb in Japan? I would say no. There is room for more, especially as the government is intent on encouraging tourism, I would open an Airbnb in maybe Tohoku or Hokkaido, as these may be relatively untouched markets. And finally, other good markets would be Okinawa, Hiroshima, Shikoku, Nagasaki, and Kyushu. I wouldn't bother personally with Kansai or Tokyo. I think they are full of guest houses, and the real estate is very, very expensive. So unless you already have a place in Kansai or Tokyo, I wouldn't bother. So thank you very much. Keep your questions coming. You can ask more in the comments below. Thank you very much.